Got another idea. Thanks to Mark and Paula. Thank you. Got another idea on making another fox for the Reading Radio Club Fox Hunts. Anybody else that wants it too. I'm willing to help anybody out there learn how to use the Yagi antenna on a radio transmitter and finding it out in the woods or in buildings or wherever. But thanks to them, I'm going to use the video to show how I make this thing. Now, keep in mind, it's a easy but a hard job. And right now I'm having the hard portion of it, finding the right cable, and I'll show that cable to you when I get this camera upstairs and start making this very, very simple fox. Now I'm doing this for Mark and Paula down near York, Pennsylvania. So I'll let them know that this video is done, how I made it, and how it works. Doesn't promise to be a long one. I'm going to do all the hard work prior to actually videoing it. Oh yes, say that one 3 times. Before I video it. There we go. And then when I put it together, you'll see how it works. So stand by. I'll be taking this camera upstairs into my ham shack and away from my man cave, which I'm in right now. So enjoy. I'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, everybody. I'm up in the ham shack. I'll show you the ham shack here in a minute, but I've been working on cables and radios and IC recorders, and I've finally found the right cable. I had made it about 2 or 3 years ago when I was first getting into fox hunting real heavy and making my own. So, to be very brief, there's the fox. Now I'm going to show you how this works in a minute, and I'm going to prove it to you that it does work. First of all, the fox that's owned by the Reading Radio Club uses this recorder, and I tried to find this recorder online to see if I could purchase one, and I did find them. I found them at all the brand name stores, Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, you name it. I went to an electronics store to find it. $47.95. I wasn't going to pay $47.95 for a voice recorder. So I went around and started searching my old voice recorders that I had laying around. Now keep in mind, some of them do not loop. One of the tricks of a voice recorder, and this is an Olympus, it is a cheap one, I think it's $19.95, and some of the tricks is they don't loop. Where I hunted and searched on this one to try to find it, went through the menu, went through the book, couldn't find it. Decided to try on this one what I did on the Sony that I just showed you, and found that if you hold the one control down for about 3 or 4 seconds, it will show loop. Now up in this corner, right up in this top corner, you can see there's a little square there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right there should be the best. There's a little square right here. That square shows an arrow, shows that it loops. Well, I found that. So that took care of about 1/4 of my problems. The next thing, I had a lot of the cables that are 2 different size ends. I needed a cable that had the same size ends. Well, this one is for a tuner for a Yaesu radio. They've got to go in a certain way or they don't work. Well, they're both 3-tip prongs, so I thought they'd be okay. No luck. So I found another pair. They're all 3-tip prongs. Now, the ones that are needed for this type radio are 3-tip prongs. But I tried a 3-tip prong and it wouldn't work. So I had to find an adapter, which I already have, of course. I had to find the adapter to go on to the small end. Now this is the cable that I made a while ago, and you can see that it's taped in the middle because these tips don't match. On these here, the middle one is not ground on both sides. The middle one here is ground, The middle one here is the left speaker. So this wiring that I did in the middle tied the two properly. So I'm good to go with this now. And this is not a stereo setup. So having that wire the wrong way would allow it to send the Morse out from here to here. Of course, your Baofeng radio. And you use this one for the transmitter. I have boxes that I'm going to get it mounted inside, so they're nice and dry. And now I'm about to show you how this thing works. So stand by and I'll get the camera set up on the radios. Okay, here we go with the radios. The plug from the voice recorder is plugged into the Baofeng radio. Baofeng radio is set up with menu. Vox being turned on to number 1. Again, there's glare, I'm sorry. It's Vox number 1. So it's not very sensitive. The radio, I stand corrected, the voice recorder is now turned on. In the top left hand corner it shows looping. What I did was this was recorded Morse off the computer, and I left a 15-second break after the message was sent. The message took approximately 1:55 seconds, and it said, "This is a Fox transmitter. If found, please return to me," and I put my telephone number on there. So those of you trying to read Morse as this thing is going, you'll find out right now it's only a third or a fourth of the way through. In order to prove that this thing is working, I have my second Baofeng radio channel mode on the same frequency as this one, where the recorder is going to transmit to here. You'll be able to hear it on here. So we're going to set that over there. I'm going to start this voice recorder. You can see the green light light up, and laying behind it you see the red light light up that it's transmitting. Now that's 1 minute. We're approximately halfway through. But if you were hunting for this transmitter, that 5 watts would be enough that you can use your Yagi antenna to follow it for 2 minutes and then stop. Wait until it starts transmitting again. The 15 seconds interval is so that the batteries on these things can take a break. There's 1:30. Now there's the break, so the battery on this can take a little break, because when we get out there on the road, this thing will be probably set up for an hour to an hour and a half until the fox hunters find it and we can turn it off. The batteries do last that long on these Baofengs, and I'm happy with it. There we go. It started all over again. There was the loop. It's back down to 8 seconds, so it started all over. I am going to fix the wire a little bit better because, like I said, it's quite a few years old, and even the tape has given up on it. I do want to make it sturdier, so I'll probably put a toothpick in here to make it solid, and then tape around the toothpick so that the wire doesn't keep working its way loose. But there it is. There's today's Fox. I'm very happy with it. I'm very proud of it. Thanks to Mark and Paula, like I said, down in York, Pennsylvania, for giving me this idea of another way to make a fox. Tongue getting tied today. So that's it for today. Let me show you my ham shack real quick, and you'll get an idea what's going on. Be right back. Got to get you off the rack. Okay, I've got the camera in the hand. You see some of my cables there. Those are the odds and ends. Each push pin is somebody I've talked to. There's my programming cables on that side. The United States map right there are all the people that I've talked to on my OpenSpot Digital. There's my battery for my power supply for my one radio. The power supply below it is for that radio. This one runs off of that battery. Coming around, you can see my end-fed wires outside down to a tower. Then they take a left turn on the left wire, and they come back to the house on the right wire. I also have a VHF Tram 1480 antenna right there, and I have a dipole right there that I use for GMRS. That dipole talks 35 miles away. There's some of my awards. There's 13 states that everybody just went through in July. There's an award for the 100th anniversary of our radio club, W3BN. This Yesu world map is everybody I've talked to outside of the United States. As you can see, the state emblem on the left side there is a little bit too small to be putting all the pins in, but you can see where I've talked. New Zealand, Australia, Philippines, Okinawa, Japan, India, Russia. This is way before this stuff happened. Saudi Arabia, of course, all over Europe. A lot over Canada. I do have an Alaska on there, and mostly northern tip of South America. That's that. Now, those numbers right there are all the foxes that I have. Almost fell over the chair. In the window is a solar charger for, get back over here, solar charger for that battery, and you can see what it's doing. It's 12.5. I do have a battery minder, battery tender I think they call it, but that's really about it. There's some excess stuff sitting here, but not a very big ham shack, but it is, and I'm proud of it. It's our spare bedroom. You can see I run my lights off of the inverter. I do have the charger for the inverter set up ready to go, but I don't turn it on until that meter gets down to about 15 or 20%. But that's it. I got my computer set up. That's my FL Digi computer right there. FL Digi is Fastlight Digital. There's my normal laptop. And there's the radios we just got done talking about. So let me put you back up on the rack. Stand by. So that's it. That's my tour I'm giving you. I'm very happy with what I have here. It's not a lot of expensive gear. It's all probably on the cheaper side. You did see my little LED TV up there. When it gets slow, I can sit here and watch on-the-air TV. I've got everything set up the way I want it set up. I've got some tools up here and fans to keep me cool in the summertime, but it still gets to be 120 degrees because the sun comes in that window, goes all the way around to that window, and it gets to be 120 degrees up here, so I've got to use something to cool it down. But that's it. That's what's going on right now. Saying hi to Mark and Paula one last time. I hope you can see what I did here, and if you have any questions, Mark, I think you said you're going to call me this afternoon. I'm going to try to get this taped on the video on my YouTube channel. So enjoy. Give me a couple thumbs up. That really helps my channel. Makes me feel like doing more, even though it might bore you. That's it, guys. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great fall. Nothing but rain here right now. And it's supposed to be this way for days because of Storm Eon, whatever the name. Have a good one. 73s. Or as Randy says, 69s.